I remember thinking when I started my love affair with iced coffee, I remember thinking when it first hit me, when it first like I felt it hit my brain, and I felt like my brain snapped into focus in a way it never had before. And I remember thinking, I can't believe that society has just decided at some point, oh, you know what, this drug's okay. Those other drugs we don't like, but coffee? Yeah, no, totally, that's fine. I feel like, I mean, when you include it in a book alongside opium and mescaline, I felt vindicated because even though obviously they're different, but I mean, I feel like coffee is a mass delusion that we just are pretending, oh, no, it's not a drug.
Yeah, no, and that's exactly the reason I wanted to include it in a book about plant drugs. We don't think of it as a drug. We think of it as a food or a beverage. But in fact, it is a drug. And as you discovered, a very powerful one, and a very useful one, by the way. I'm by no means anti-coffee. And I'm kind of curious, though, did you have another way of administering caffeine to your body?
I did, although I never really felt it as a caffeine thing. I was a Coke Zero drinker.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You know, I used to drink regular Coke, and then I switched to Diet Coke and then Coke Zero. But then I realized, like, you know, it's got stuff in it and, like, sweeteners, and that's probably not good for my brain. So a doctor friend of mine actually, a neurologist friend of mine said, you know what, you should have a black iced coffee because I don't like hot things. And he's the smartest doctor in the world. I mean, and yeah. I mean, so what is caffeine doing? Like, is caffeine in coffee different than, because I mean, I can't believe that we're giving caffeine to our kids. I can't believe as a kid, I was drinking sodas all the time.
You know, 6 of the top 10 sodas in America are caffeinated. Why do they put caffeine in those sodas? Because it's not naturally occurring the way it is naturally occurring in coffee and tea. Well, the reason they're doing it is to sell more of it and to addict children. And it's a scandal that this is allowed. But it is. And there was an attempt to regulate it a few years ago, but the industry beat it back. They claim they use caffeine to give a bitter note to the flavor. But a lot of science has shown that, in fact, the real reason is caffeine is a reinforcer. Any drink that contains caffeine, you will develop positive associations with. And so the taste of coffee that you've come to like, guess what? It's actually very bitter, and you know there are a lot of negatives about the taste of coffee, but because it's now associated with this wonderful feeling it gives you, the taste is wonderful too, and the aroma, and that's what a reinforcer does.
Even you talking about it is making me even more hopped up and excited. So for most of us, you write in the book, for most of us to be caffeinated to one degree or another has simply become baseline human consciousness. Something like 90% of humans ingest caffeine regularly, making it the most widely used psychoactive drug in the world and the only one we routinely give to children, commonly in the form of soda. What is caffeine doing to, what is that feeling of like my brain kind of really clicking in? What is caffeine doing to one's brain?
Well, caffeine has a lot of effects. It has the kind of lift you get from a release of dopamine, which lots of drugs offer, and may have to do with its addictiveness. It also, though, blocks a particular neurotransmitter or neuromodulator called adenosine, which is the chemical in your body that over the course of the day builds up and gradually makes you feel tired. And it's necessary to putting you to sleep. Caffeine fits into the same receptor and stops the adenosine from having any effect, although its levels keep rising in your brain, and that's why when the caffeine fades, you get this kind of rebound tiredness. So caffeine doesn't actually give you additional energy. It borrows energy from the future, essentially. But it has these other effects that we don't understand very well. For example, the powerful sense of focus you get from it, which, the ability to concentrate, the improvements in memory. And we've done tests that if you study something or read a book or absorb some material or preparing for an interview, if you have coffee after you've done that, you're much more likely to retain it. It improves performance in athletes and endurance. So it has all these very positive effects. But in some people, it becomes a drug of abuse. People who have 6, 7, 8 cups a day.